Welcome to the Whiskey Vault.
You know, this is, we got the morning sun.
Yeah, we get the morning sun about every 2 minutes.
So,
Then we get the morning gloom.
I think
Then we get the morning sun.
that means breakfast whiskey.
Breakfast whiskey. Let's start with the bourbon.
Is this the
No,
bourbon?
that's the rye you picked
Right,
up.
this is the bourbon?
Yes.
Best sound in the world. Oh, that was a little one.
Yeah, let's try this one. Do it again.
Okay, alright, hold on.
Okay,
Best
take
sound.
two.
Best sound. Yeah, so
Alright.
Wish.
Ah, there it is.
Alright,
Okay, so, magnificent bastard Adam Holznicht.
Adam Holznicht. Do I need to hold on?
Holznicht.
Holznicht.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry, Adam.
I got you, buddy. Hold on. Adam Holznicht.
That's what I said originally.
You magnificent bastard.
Okay, so let's start with the bourbon.
Okay.
Actually, let's pour all three. So, bourbon, we're gonna share some glasses here. Rye, keep them in order.
Ooh.
This is from, don't say anything yet, I don't have it in my hand. This is from Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. Man, we are representing a lot of Wisconsin recently.
Oh, and what was this? Just a single malt?
Single malt, the third one.
Okay.
Bourbon, rye, single malt.
I gotta tell you, it's on the nose. First impressions. First impressions on the nose.
Green.
What?
Oh, no, that was what I was picking up.
Okay.
I can smell that rye from right here without even bending over the glass. Ooh, okay, that's all peaches and honey.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. Wait, and single malt? Ah, there's the slightly malt and new wood influence.
Okay, I am looking forward to this based on the nose alone.
Okay.
Let's focus one at a time on the bourbon.
All right.
Then the rye.
Bourbon.
Yeah. Man. So that peach shows up. The peach shows up. It's a little more watery than I was expecting.
Yeah, but it is very peachy.
Yeah. This is a really nice walnut and peaches. Peaches being the predominant flavor for me.
Yeah.
And a little bit of honey sweetness in there. I'm not getting any barrel note. Are you getting any barrel note?
No, and
barrel note.
somebody tell us how old this is when you get a chance, because I was really wondering, this does not taste overly young,
Yeah.
but it also doesn't taste super oaky.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't taste super young. There's definitely some flavors in there, and I'm a little disappointed that it's 40% because I would be really interested to see what these flavors turn into if the proof goes up.
This is the least overly abrasive young bourbon I've ever tried. This is super sweet, and candied.
And do you think it's less abrasive because it's at the 40%? Do you think maybe?
I don't know, man, because there's some other bourbons we have in here that are definitely 40, and they still are like, ooh, bourbon, yeah.
You're right. So
But I wonder if they did like a low barrel char.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through these
All right,
three.
let's move the rye.
We're gonna go through these three. We're doing the rye, and then we're going to compare
Whew.
something that we
That's
think
right.
is comparable in each category to these three.
Now, you know what's cool about these guys is they're doing what we're doing,
For science.
which is they're using Shipwreck Brew Pub, which is evidently someone else in the same town to do all of their mash and fermentation runs.
We're doing
doing that with Acapone.
Acapone, yeah.
And so all they're doing is distilling, which I don't, you know what? Here's the thing I'm gonna say. With the explosion in craft breweries, and people are doing really amazing stuff in craft breweries right now, like we've got
You've been holding that a long time.
Jester King
Yeah, just. I've just.
and Acapone, and
more of that whiskey?
I'm trying to hand it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's just as sweet and pretty, but it's got all of the weird licorice notes I don't like in rye.
There is some licorice.
Ah.
I'm also getting some green apple.
Anyway, I don't know why more craft distilleries don't partner with breweries so that their financial outlay right out of the gates isn't triple the expenditure. Find a craft guy that you love, that you know they know what they're doing, and that is willing to make a variation runs just for you.
So the things we didn't, because we've had some beer whiskey hybrid abominations.
Whoa!
And
Whoa!
beer.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
We're talking about outsourcing the first two stages of your process to someone you trust.
Right.
And or you tell them, sort of like people do with Bullet, you say, here's what I want. or with MGP. Here's what I want you to create for me.
And a brewery wouldn't do anything in that part of the process differently than a distillery?
Right. They wouldn't do if you say I want you to do this with your equipment, it's no different than you doing that with your equipment.
Same process. At what point does the distilling and brewing process take wildly different turns in what they're doing?
As soon as you start distilling. Actually, that's not true. About the first fermentation, right after you're done with the first fermentation, they split ways. Beer goes into a pasteurization process. Distillation goes straight into distilling, and it's during the first fermentation. They have different rules. So temperature control and environment are extremely important in beer fermentation.
Right.
They're less important in whiskey.
You know what I want? I'm gonna.
Dude, I smelled this single malt before we started anything, and it smelled slightly sour, slightly new, a little bright and green.
Yeah.
Right? After the bourbon and the rye, this is all rich butterscotch.
Yeah.
And like deep, dark, rich notes. No sourness, no brightness. I haven't tasted it yet because I'm afraid of ruining that. But if I was at the distillery and I was doing a tasting, I would have them try bourbon, then rye, and then the single malt, and they will come away thinking, this is just round and rich and magnificent.
So every single one of these, all three, I have the same thought. Really nice flavors.
I wish I had a little more alcohol.
I wish I had a little more alcohol.
There's coffee in this.
Every single one seems a tiny bit too watered down at 40%. Doesn't even have to be like in the 50s. I think in the mid to high 40s, this this could be lifted up to another level. There's
a weird little cinnamon tinge in that aftertaste. After you've swallowed and you start processing, it's in the aftertaste. There's a weird little cinnamon. And I don't mean cinnamon sugar, I mean cinnamon. Slightly spicy, a little bit bitter.
Got the coffee.
Wait for it. Cinnamon shows up. It reminds me of Mexican hot cocoa when you get the cinnamon spicy notes in the Mexican
so what you're going to be doing is we're going to compare this to Bullet Rye. We're going to compare this.
No, we're not doing 3 comparisons.
Yeah, we're doing 3.
No, that.
We're doing 3 comparisons.
I'm not doing that.
I will do that. He's wanting to phone it in. Code Gray. Hey guys, I'm going to read and get the whiskey here. Here we go. Look, within arm's reach, you're so lazy. Hey guys, I'm getting my feet wet in peaty scotch. I bought Lafroig 10 and I enjoy it, but last night I tried Open 14 at my local Alamo Draft House, and I enjoyed that it felt mellower than what I have at home. Could you recommend a few other bottles? You want to get a glass?
No.
You want to get a glass?
Nope.
It's happening.
Bring it on.
So, I gotta tell you, Bullet Rye is kind of a not strong jump up and slap your mama rye. It's more lively. Absolutely more lively than this.
Yeah.
The Bullet Rye is supposed to be like a lot of people think it's the hardcore rye people think this is a little bit too entry level. Stronger, more sack than this rye. And I think it's because it's at 40%.
Yeah, they should step it up to 46. I'd be interested, or even in a cask strength release.
Could you recommend a few other bottles in this same vein? I found your channel after my house burned down in December.
Ooh, ouch.
It's actually a cool story. Alright. Yeah, that's a magnificent bastard right
cool
there.
Story.
House burns down. It's like, hey, I got a cool story.
Cool story, bro.
Our church came around. Our church came around, my wife and I, and raised the money and volunteer work within just a few days to get our house completely rebuilt better than it was before.
Okay, that's cool.
Said the arsonist.
I get it. Said the pessimist.
I want a new house. There are hard days, but this channel has become a real day brightener as we go through this crazy time.
Very cool.
Gonna get a toast with one of the bottles you suggested. Oh, so he's saying...
what do we suggest after Lafroig and...
Open 14.
Open 14.
Man, you gotta go either Kalila or Lagavulin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to go a little more spiky, go Kalila. If you want to go a little more complicated and rich, go Lagavulin 16.
Which one am I getting? The man asked, his house burned down, Daniel. His house burned down. What's wrong with you? God, son of a bitch, this guy. The place would fall apart without me. How spoiled? How spoiled are you? Get pissed off, drink some delicious whiskeys. His house burned down. You can't pour a glass in his on.
Your church rally around you, you're fine.
You big whiny baby. That is an awesome story, by the way.
Yeah, you know what? That's an identical story to one of my old childhood friends whose house burned down in Waco and whose church gathered around and basically rebuilt everything. And they lost 100% of everything.
Yeah.
They were at church and they had left a candle burning, and when they got home, there was embers. I mean, nothing.
Wow.
And the fire department didn't even get it out.
Wow.
Right? It was just... And same thing, the church kind of stepped around and
All right.
set them up.
Code Gray and family. Cheers to you and your new house and your church community for stepping up.
May the fire from now on be only in your heart.
Oh, didn't you shit on an infant child a little while ago?
Yeah, I did just talk about how I wasn't going to toast anybody because screw everybody.
Right.
And then I spent the next 2 weeks toasting random people.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
So, if he refused to toast you, because he said, oh, there's just too many, here's to you.
Yeah.
And retroactively.
Retroactively.
Here's to you.
Yeah.
And
I think people are starting to realize that I'm the
just now?
Mm-hmm.
Just now?
It may have taken a while.
I play one on TV.
Yeah.
Not to beat a dead horse. Again, the vibrance and complexity that comes compared to. I really like the direction of these flavors.
Yeah, as a craft effort, these are really good.
But pump it up just a little bit.
And yeah, I think the alcohol would add the needed complexity.
Yeah.
I also would be interested in the cask strength release from any of these. Mm-hmm. And I will say that I'm excited that Door has somehow managed to avoid a lot of the flavor traps you find in small craft releases.
Absolutely.
Which is the green sour sap notes, the over oak notes,
the raw,
the kind of raw. Yeah, they've avoided all of those. So I don't know how they did that, but good on them. And thanks, Adam, for a good. I'm gonna go back to their single malt after that Lagavulin just to see
how much it holds up.
That's when the green sap notes start to reappear.
Ah. All right.
It's still cinnamon though. It's a cinnamon malt. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight, may you fight for friends.
If you steal, may you steal a lover's heart.
If you drink,
may you drink with us.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, drop a question or comment down below.